We've heard a lot today about the Santa Ana winds and how fires are impacting our communities. But how does a wildfire different from a structure fire when it comes to protection?
Yeah, and a couple of minutes ago, we told you about Michelle Khare of Challenge Accepted. She's taking on the job of a reporter today and is live on the scene to tell us more about what's going on with that fire risk. Michelle.
Hey, Carlo and Heather, Michelle Khare here live on scene at the border fire, where for the past few hours we've had the immense privilege of getting to watch over 175 firefighters fight to keep this fire right behind me contained. And as you mentioned, something I was super curious about while we were out here was how these firefighters approach a structure or a house fire that we might encounter in the metropolis of San Diego versus something so out in the open here in these Santa Ana winds. Today, the border fire called 175 firefighters to the scene. But what is amazing is how our fire department handles each situation uniquely.
San Diego border operations update, still about 24 acres.
What is the difference between fighting a structure fire down in the metro area versus something like this?
The structure fire is going to be a box. A house is usually a box, and there's 4 walls and a roof. And usually you can keep the fire contained to that structure. In this environment, we're on a hillside or up on a mountain like we are right now, and that fire is not contained to a box.
And these conditions are dry and windy, perfect for a wildfire to start up.
You can see that it's extremely dry. There's not a whole lot of moisture in it. It's real brittle. This is what carries fire along these hillsides and valleys that we have.
And not only are the conditions different, but the risk is also different for these firefighters. In a structure fire, firefighters wear a heavy jacket like this and a respirator to breathe. But the wildland gear is far less protective. I feel like this is something I could get at REI myself. I'm sure it's a different material, but it feels so light compared to the two.
Yeah.
So you're really choosing efficiency here. And their last line of defense is this aluminum fire shelter. And this is the last resort, throwing an aluminum-looking shelter over yourself.
Yeah, this is your last chance to survive a burnover.
All of this is why the men and women out here today are so brave to keep our communities safe. Last we heard from firefighting officials, the fire is 50% contained, but they will be working hard all throughout the night. Back to you.
Yeah, Michelle, and obviously the wind, a huge concern for the crews out there today. We just saw whipping, especially through the part of the county where you're at right now. You mentioned that they will be remaining out there through the night. Has it been like for you out there today, though?
Man, when we have heard our incredible meteorologists at CBS 8 talk about these Santa Ana winds all week, there's a big difference when you experience it for yourself. Just driving up here, we were feeling the van shake back and forth. And even standing here now, like we're basically about to be blown away. It is crazy. And again, it's all thanks to these incredible firefighters who, have been out there all day long fighting this fire. So we're so grateful to them for keeping our community safe. And just want to remind everybody in the community that if you're watching this, stay vigilant, stay alert, especially if you're in some of these rural cities.
All right, Michelle Khare from Challenge Accepted. I think it's Challenge Conquered at this point. Great job. I know we're going to see more of you tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for that great report.
Thank you, sir.